Hello to my fellow truth and freedom seekers. I am Hello to my fellow truth and freedom law school, which I created in 1996, and for over 30 years. Hello to my fellow truth and law school, which I created in 1996, and for over 30. I'm teaching Americans like you to do the same and be free. In this presentation, I'll have the cover topic why and how filing a tax return can land you in prison and how you can avoid this fate legally and safely. It's exciting, a presentation that I'm really looking forward to giving to you because I know you're going to feel very liberated by watching this, okay? So here we go. You know, step 2 of our 7 steps to free yourself of IRS deception, which leads to fear. With the fear they rob and control you. To be free of all that is stop filing 1040 income tax confession forms. That's right. See, you were deceived by your accountant attorney to sign an IRS 1040 income tax confession trap form. And you put the noose around your neck. How? Well, when you file and sign a 1040 income tax confession trap form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. That's right. You owe the IRS nothing legally until you put that signature on that 1040 form. That's how the law works. Now, and this is how you give IRS the power to audit you, empty your bank account, steal your crypto, steal your property, and put you in prison. Yep. So let's go over this situation more detail. You see, I know like most Americans, you probably believe that filing an IRS 1040 income tax form is a safe way to avoid the IRS audit and keep yourself out of prison. See, you unwittingly increase your chance of going to prison for taxes when you sign under penalties of perjury that your 1040 form is true, correct, and complete. Of course, this has been done because you were told all your life by the corrupt major media and your accountant, bookkeeper, CPA, who doesn't know the law, who pretends to know the law, that hire me and pay me. File a tax return with me and you'll be safe. That's the opposite of the truth. Here, I'll show it to you. Get your 1040 out from the previous years and look at this on your own 1040, okay? Here it is, just like your 1040, okay? The fact is, as you see, the safest way to have the IRS leave you alone is to not file any 1040 income tax confession forms. Here we go. So, again, let me remind you, I'll show you when you sign an IRS Form 1040 income tax confession form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. You swear you owe the IRS money. Here's a 1040 form. Did your accountant, CPA, tax attorney ever told you when you sign here? What are you signing? Where's the little small tiny font here? You're signing, what does it say? Did you ever bother to read it? Did he tell you what it says? I bet you not. You see, what you're doing is signing it under penalties of perjury. That's right. What does that mean, under penalties of perjury? What's the big deal? It's under oath, folks. You're swearing, like put your hand on the Bible in the court of law to tell the truth. And what it means basically is, throw me in prison if everything on this form, which I don't understand, the accountant, CPA, TurboTax, HR Block, my tax attorney told me to sign here. I don't understand it. He's the expert. You're swearing under oath that's all true, correct, and complete. And you will go to prison if there is any mistake. Not the HR Block, not TurboTax, not your bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, enrolled agent, or tax attorney, but you. So, now, on this 1040 form, guess what? On line 37, go over, get your previous 1040 file, 1040 form. Line 37, you subtract line 33 from line 24, and you state this is the amount you owe. you claim that you owe the IRS this amount. That's right. That's how you end up owing the IRS money, because you under oath said so. IRS does not need to come after you to come after for money. You're saying under oath you owe the IRS money. That's end of story now. You just got to go on, pick your bank account, paycheck, assets. There's no negotiating getting out of it. Okay? Because they trick you to the very thing that puts a rope around your neck, give it to the IRS. Let's go over this issue a little bit more in detail, okay? Here it is. Bottom line is, this is the way the legal system tax works. When you file a 1040 income tax form or any federal form, you give up your right to the most private and sensitive financial information of the IRS. That's all this private stuff. You tell it to your enemies. The IRS can then use these documents as evidence against you in a court of law, which can then force you to prove all expenses, deductions, and credits that you claimed on your tax form. And if you cannot prove such expenses, deductions, credits, you will end up paying a lot more money to the IRS, or even be sentenced to prison, to lengthy prison terms. That's right. See, you risk being charged with 3 separate tax crimes for each 1040 tax form you file. Here they are. First and foremost, attempting to evade or defeat a tax. Tax evasion, 5 years. Filing of fraudulent and false statements, 3 years. Filing fraudulent return statements or other documents, 1 year. So it all adds up to you risk going to prison for up to 9 years for each year you file a 1040 or any other income tax return. That's right. That's how it is. Again, did your bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, enrolled agent, or tax attorney tell you about this? Warn you before you sign that piece of paper? Of course not. He makes money from you by telling you, trust me, I got my degree in taxation. I know this stuff. Pay me money, I'll protect you from the IRS. I'm the expert. Don't listen to these tax protesters. I'm like, yeah, Freedom Law School, they get you in trouble. People got in trouble for doing this stuff. You know, no. I'll file your taxes to me. Make sure you're safe. See, it's all, they making money off of you folks. Okay, by fooling you. So since the IRS usually waits until a taxpayer has filed several years of income tax forms before charging them, this can easily add up to more years in prison than the maximum sentence in many violent criminal laws. That's right. They come out with you for 5 years of tax return, same problem. That's 45 years. A life sentence of going to prison. Now, some of you have crypto, and I'm going to make it a quick thing for you guys. There's a trap for you crypto owners, a crypto trap. I'm going to ask on the front page of the 1040 form, did you in any way at any time during the year, sell, or exchange or otherwise dispose of a cryptocurrency? Yes or no, you must answer. If you say yes, you better be nervous, because you put yourself on the IRS crypto audit list. The IRS is hammering crypto tax return filers with audits because the IRS knows how expensive and difficult to figure out the cost basis of your crypto sales or transfer is. So the IRS can tax you an entire gross crypto sales and transfers, hurting you big time. I know, because I'm trying to help some crypto people. It's not easy because they don't have all the records they need properly, with these things sometimes, okay? Now, if you say no, well, guess what? You better be ready to go to prison because you just lied under oath, on the penalty of perjury, which can land you in tax prison for 3 separate tax crimes that you see above, including tax evasion, for up to 9 years for every 1040 form on which you lied about not having sold or transferred any cryptocurrency. right? So you better not file. Why do that to yourself, folks? Okay? Now, let's go down a little bit further, and I'm going to tell you something. This situation is so bad, even this former tax court judge, Krupa, when IRS came after her, she refused and failed to defend herself in court because she knows it is so hard, almost nearly impossible to defend a 1040 income tax concession form. She was not an accountant, CPA, lawyer, tax court judge. Here it is. Former tax court judge Diane Krupa. Okay, when the IRS came after her, what did she do? She did not even try to put up a fight in defense. Instead, she pled guilty to reduce her sentence to only 34 months. That's a good deal, because she was looking to go to prison for close to 20 years. That is right. And I'm not making it up. Here's an article about her. Former federal judge and husband sentenced for tax fraud, June 2017. Here's another article, Forbes magazine. Former U.S. tax court Judge Krupa indicted for tax evasion, conspiracy obstruction. She made a deal, did not go to trial. She could say, I know more about tax law than this regular federal district court judge. And I did everything just right. She could have. She's one of the 31 tax court judges in America, expert. But she could have an independent tax return. If Judge Krupa could have defended a tax return, how can your accountant or tax attorney do better? You can't. Okay? Now, this guy is Joe Bannister. His website, Agent for Truth. Okay? He's a website guy. He was a former gun-carrying special agent with the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS, who became a student of Freedom Law School back in 1997 and published a book exposing the IRS's deception of American people. He quit the IRS in 1999 to expose the IRS's scam on the American people. And he told me way back in the year 1999, whenever at Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS, CID, we wanted to go after somebody, one of the first things that we did as a standard procedure was to request a copy of that person's previously filed tax returns so that we could use that information, the information on those tax returns, against them. Yeah! They use that 1040 forms against you to put you in prison. All of them that you filed. Okay? However, when I wanted to talk to somebody about investigating him, I had to tell him that he had the right to remain silent and give me no information. So why are you giving up information to the IRS on the 1040 forms that the IRS use against you? You want to stop doing that, brothers and sisters. So that's his website, Agent for Truth. Check out Joe Bannister some more. He's got good videos to educate you. Now this numbers are from IRS's data book. It shows that over 93% of the people that the IRS puts in prison are actually filers. That's right. You know, I was talking to somebody about not filing. He immediately said, oh, I don't want to become a martyr. He thinks if he doesn't file, he'll become a martyr and go to prison. It's the opposite way. When you file, you put the rope around your neck and go to prison. Here's IRS's own numbers. That proves it. Look at this. Okay, on the top half is all the people the IRS put in prison for taxes. Okay, sentenced. On the bottom half is for non-filers only, whichever they are. They were all different documents. I'll put it right here for you to see. Top is everybody. Bottom is non-filers. So the difference between the top and the bottom is filers. Okay, so let's look at the numbers a little bit more closely now. On the top right is 2015, 2016, 17, go left, 18, 19, up to 21, okay? Look at the highlighted areas that circled. Number of people sentenced back in 2015, everybody was 3,092, right? But look at the bottom, non-filers was only 167. The difference between 3,092 and 167, that's right, 2,900 people were all filers that put in prison, almost all of them. Look at the year 2018 here, okay, in the center of the page. 2111 people put to prison for taxes, but the bottom only 104 were non-filers. Over 2,000 were all filers. And 2021, same pattern. 1,268, everybody they put in prison, okay? And then at the bottom, less than 100 of them were non-filers, right? Over 1,100 were all filers. The vast majority of people they put in prison, Irish put in prison, are people who file those 1040 confession forms because their accountant, CPA, tax authority told them that's a safe thing to do. The opposite of the truth. You've been lied to one more time by the major media, right? For decades, and your experts told you to do these things which are actually hurtful to you. Okay? Let's go down and look at this, okay? You gotta know this, folks. The IRS is absolutely reliant on you voluntarily agreed to be a tax slave by filing a 1040 income tax confession form and admitting you owe the IRS money. Here's former IRS commissioners that agree that the 1040 forms are taxpayer confession forms. From Bloomberg. The article is right from Bloomberg. You can check it out. Click it if you want to. But here's what they say. What's critical here, now this is people that try to raise money for the government, for the deep state, for the swamp. They want more money for the swamp. So their advice is, this is how we really get more money out of the American suckers for the deep state and swamp, right? So here's what they're trying to tell you, how the system really works. What's critical here, that substantially all the revenue increase does not come from IRS audits. See, people think, oh, IRS can audit me. No, they can't. There's way too many people out there. There's about 80 million non-filers. Where does the money come from? Here it is. The money substantially comes from taxpayers when they file their returns. When you confess under oath that you owe the IRS money. They suckered you to do the very thing that makes it weak, that makes it powerful. So what you gotta do is stop filing those forms. Later on, I'll show you how to stop income tax withholding from your paycheck, so you don't have to file a return to get some of the money back. Okay, but watch at the end of the video. I'll give you that link to that video also. Okay, so now here I'll show you the risks and benefits of filing a 1040 tax confession forms. Okay, and then I'll give you after that, you know, in detail. Let's go risk of filing 1040 income tax confession forms. Now, this is going to be a little bit detailed, but you got to understand how bad it is to file a 1040 form. Let's go through it together, okay? 1, you give up your right to be silent and not give any information to the government that they can use against you. 2, you sign under oath, penalty of perjury, same as if you were before a judge and jury, that everything on a 1040 income tax confession form is true, correct, and complete. 3, you confess under oath, penalty of perjury, that you have taxable income and owe IRS money. 4, you cannot change your mind or appeal your confession that you owe the IRS money. You're stuck with your 1040 confession form. 5, you beg the IRS to accept all your business expenses, deductions, credits, and other breaks that you claim on a 1040 income tax confession form. That's right, the burden of proof is on you. And you give the IRS permission to audit you. And there's more. You put the burden of proof on yourself to prove all of the expenses, deductions, and credits and other breaks that you claimed on the 1040 income tax confession form. Next, you have to hire an accountant, CPA, and or tax attorney and pay them unknown amounts of money to try to keep you from owing the IRS more money. And you may lose the audit and end up owing the IRS more tax penalties and interest. And you tell the IRS where your bank account, crypto investments, home, and other properties are for the IRS to steal. There is more. You hope and pray that your accountant, CPA, or tax lawyers are really good at what they do and can keep the IRS from stealing your money and putting you in prison. Your money and hard work is going to fund the corruption and criminality of Washington, D.C. swamp gangsters. If you lose your audit, you will end up owing the IRS more taxes, penalties, and interest. If the IRS decides to put you in prison, you will have to pay a tax lawyer hundreds of thousands of dollars or more to defend you. And for each and every 1040 income tax confession form that you file, you may be convicted of 3 separate tax crimes and go to prison for up to 9 years. If the IRS decides to put you in prison, you will have to pay a tax lawyer hundreds of thousands of dollars or more to defend you. And if the IRS tries to put you in prison for filing tax returns and there is an error on your 1040 tax form, whether it is the fault of your accountant or tax preparer, you have to prove that the mistake was an inadvertent mistake and not an attempt by you to evade your so-called fair share of taxes. Yep. So now, let's go to the benefits of filing a 1040 tax form. Can you think of any? Only one I can think of. The only benefit I can think of, honestly, is when you get a bank loan, they can make it easier to get a loan, a little bit lower interest rates. To be an interest rate slave, they make it a little bit easier. That's the only benefit of filing tax forms. Look at all the risks you got going against you. Okay? Now, let's look at the, the risks of not filing 1040 income tax forms. Okay? Here we go. Risk of not filing tax returns. Well, if you stop filing, I can't think of any risks. I can't think of any risks. There isn't no risk when you stop filing. IRS is leaving non-filers alone. That is a fact. In step 3, you see more detail. IRS is not coming after non-filers since 2016. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, let's go to benefits of not filing income tax forms and joining our Restore Freedom plan. If the IRS ever comes after you, Freedom Law School will prepare proper responses, hire CPA or attorneys that may be necessary to defend you, and guarantees that you will stay out of prison. By following the law as written on the government's official legal websites and quadruple checked with your congressman that write the tax laws. If you end up losing a tax case and the IRS takes any of your money from you, Freedom Law School will reimburse you in full. You have none of the risks of filing an income tax confession form, and your money and your hard-earned money, instead of going to fund corruption, waste, and criminality, the Washington, D.C. swamp gangsters, is going toward restoring freedom, justice, peace, and prosperity for all Americans. Yep, folks, it's the way to go. Stop signing those 1040 income tax confession forms. Here's one more thing about those CPA accountants you rely on, your tax attorney you rely on, right? Well, here's a risk when you go rely on those guys, okay? The Internal Revenue Code is so complex, a jungle. Here, you want to see it? Here is the Internal Revenue Code, the entire over 10,000 sections, about 10,000 pages, a bunch of gobbledygook, confusion, tiny font, minutia that no CPA accountant and tax attorney understands it. The regulations are 4 times as big. They don't understand this stuff. They just pretend to understand, to be expert. You pay them, these CPAs and tax attorneys. They don't know what they're doing, folks. Okay? So, here it is. It's so complex that many tax specialists disagree about information that should go on your 1040 income tax confession form. By signing under penalty of perjury, you are the one who could go to prison for up to 9 years for each 1040 tax form that they make the mistake on. That's right. Here is an article right here from Money Magazine, okay, that came out in 1988. Applies till today. And was headlined Money Magazine, even seasoned pros are confused this year. Yep. Money asked 50 tax preparers to figure one family's taxes and got 50 different answers. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? Okay. which one of those 50 accountants got it right? Okay? Which one of them? You don't know. Why take the risk? Read this article for yourself, okay? How amazing it is that you should not risk going to any of these so-called professionals. The results show that. Okay, here's some of the results I will share with you, okay? The 50 pros computed 50 different amounts of tax due from the family. The bottom lines varied by as much as 50%. Wow. And look at this. In cases the law itself is unclear, the professionals are making up the rules of their own that differ greatly. Because, see, they got different results. You're taking a risk by putting your life and your freedom and your family's safety in the hands of that so-called professional CPA accountant, tax attorney who knows really nothing about law. If he did, he'd know there's no law requiring you, the people of 50 states, to pay any income tax in here. None. Or payroll or self-employment taxes. So why would you trust this ignorant person? Oh, because you've been told to trust the expert. Trust the tax attorney, right? Now, let's continue, folks. What is the solution? Well, at the bottom of this page, I have 2 videos you got to watch on your own why the IRS cannot simply steal your stuff if you know how to challenge them like the IRS. They're leaving non-filers alone, and they cannot just take your stuff. The reason they just take your stuff is because your accountant, CPA, tax attorney doesn't know legal procedures. They do not know legal how to challenge the IRS and tax court. Some attorneys do, but they're very expensive and very incompetent, many of them anyways. So, if you do it right, like Freedom Law School does, they cannot just come take your stuff. You have right to due process of law. It takes many years, even if we're to lose the case. But Freedom Law School will protect you even from that if it ever becomes the issue for you. Okay? So what you want to do, folks, go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and verify all this. Go through the 7 steps, okay, that we have on our website to free yourself, okay, of the IRS deception, robbery, slavery. Click on the 7 steps that you've done and go through the 7 steps in more detail. You drive around, listen to our videos, and lunch and dinner, put videos up, and this time watch them. Now, here's what I promised you. You can free yourself from tax withholding on our website. Yes, the link is on our front page under here right. Here on the top right, the last on this menu is free yourself from income tax withholding. Stop withholding from your paycheck. If you're a business owner, there's no withholding problem for you. Stop sending the IRS quarterly estimated payments and stop signing tax forms. That's it. If you own a business, stop doing W-4 and require from your employees. Stop W-2ing your employees. Stop 1099ing other people, folks. You don't have to do it at all. It's all at freedomlawschool.org for free if you want to educate yourself. Or if you want protection, we'll protect you. But what you got to do is have the spirit of America's founding fathers in you. Yes. If you're like this great men, willing to stand up for freedom, not put your lives at second honor and all your fortune on the line like they did, only a portion of what you would have paid to the IRS anyways. That's all you got to do. Okay, you get to keep the lion's share of it. Join our Restore Freedom Plan. If you are, and I believe you are, one of the great Americans, modern day founding fathers of America, the privilege of 100% guarantees available. If what? If we join hands, not be alone, lone wolf. No, come together. We're much more powerful together. And that's exactly what the Restore Freedom Plan is all about. By doing so, you can enjoy 100% guarantee. When you legally stop filing and paying income taxes, as long as you're a member of our Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money, or Freedom Law School will reimburse you, and you will not go to tax prison. Plain and simple. And if you love and spread the truth, We will pay you. That's right. We'll pay you 50% of everyone's first year membership. Okay. Bottom line, the plan is very simple. If this is what you pay the IRS, right? Take 70% of that. You keep it. Put 30% of it in the Restore Freedom Plan. Like Founding Fathers of America, come together. You all come together through Freedom Law School. And so there's lots of money in our fund so that if one person comes under attack, everybody else's money can be used to defend that person, keep them free. And if they take your money, if we lose even, we'll reimburse you in full. This is what America's Founding Fathers did. This is what we need to do, you and me and all American people, to be free. So continue your search for truth at freedomlawschool.org. Folks, this communist social system is falling apart from within. Okay? But for it to happen, we got to get together. Yes, you can do this stuff for free if you want to on your own. You're welcome to do it, especially if you're low income. But if you're higher income or want to be extra sure that you're safe with the IRS, join the Restore Freedom Plan, because you can take part in having America be free. And you can tell your children and grandchildren, I was there with Donald Trump and Freedom Law School. We took America back from the crooks and criminals and have America be free once again. We had a second American Revolution, but this time, peacefully. I was there. If that's what you want to be part of, the opportunity is there for you, my friend, at freedomlawschool.org. Continue and join our Restore Freedom Plan. We can have America be free and have you fight inflation, have money in your pocket right now, a little bit of life for you and family right now, have America be free at the same time. I don't see anything yet. Well, thank you for watching that presentation, everybody. In a minute, I'll be taking your questions. But before I go on, I got to tell you guys that the event of Dr. Stu Werner in Tennessee that was going to be coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday has been rescheduled to November in New York, New Jersey area. So I won't be there in that area. I'm afraid that's how it happened. I would have loved to meet you guys in person. Many of you are going to come to that event, but we cannot do that. So I'll be seeing you hopefully at that event when it comes up in New York, New Jersey in November. Okay. So before I take your questions, I want to share something important for you guys on this call. You know, a lot of people are thinking, okay, Trump is in office, and so he's going to get rid of the income tax. Well, it's not so easy. He's only one man. He can expose things, okay, but unless he knows Freedom Law School what we know, he cannot get rid of the income tax. Because he thinks he has to go to Congress to get rid of the income tax by changing laws. Well, Republicans have a very small, bare majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. So, with that bare majority, it just takes a few of those rhinos to vote against not abolishing the income tax as they think. And they want to replace it with a sales tax. Many of them, they want to do that. Whereas all Trump has to do is recognize that the law as it's written applies only to the District of Columbia citizens, residents, not the people of the 50 states. He doesn't know that. We know that. You know that. I know that. But he doesn't know that. So just like he didn't know how corrupt the system was back, 8 years ago, He didn't realize how corrupt the system was, the judiciary, the Department of Injustice. But those crooks been in there for a long time, folks. Let me tell you. Okay, we in the tax honesty truth movement been finding the crooks in the federal government, in DOJ, since the 1940s. Yes, so this is nothing new to us. But so this is where you come in. When you join our Restore Freedom Plan, you'll be taking part in this restoration of our republic. Restoration of our freedoms. Restoration of America for us and our posterity, our children and our grandchildren. Okay? And although I want you to start filing and paying income tax, those of you who wish to feel good knowing you are going to be part of restoring freedom in America, you can do that by joining our Restore Freedom Plan, because with that funds, we can do the things we need to do. Like, for example, we're trying to reach more broadcasters to get our message out there. But that takes money to get a hold of them. Hire professionals, know how to get a hold of these guys. They charge big fees, to get a hold of some of these guys to interview us, to get the word out there. So your membership goes a long ways to helping us make that happen. And we want to make it happen as soon as possible. And my goal is before Trump's 4 years in office. It's going to take several years of concrete effort to make it happen. Hopefully we'll make it happen. If not, once Trump leaves, maybe J.D. Vance, someone else who will be in his place, then with his help, we can finish off the IRS. Are we ready to go now? Okay, we did 1 more minute to get your questions. By the way, one of the things that comes up a lot, the questions people ask here and there is, Paymon, how about my interest I get on my bank account? How about my capital gains, cryptocurrency, my rental income, investments? Do I owe income tax on that? Remember, it is not the type of income or money that you have. What matters is, where are you from? If you are a citizen or resident of District of Columbia, of Washington, D.C., yes, you must file and pay federal income taxes on any and all your income from anywhere on earth. But if you're not from District of Columbia, from Washington, D.C., you only would pay income tax if you are a federal worker that works in Washington, D.C., or you have real estate that you sell in Washington, D.C. So hope that makes it clear. You are free, everybody. All right. We're going to get with the question and answers. We have one caller right now from area code 513, but we're going to put the call number on the screen. For those of you who have questions, you can, put yourself on our list of people with questions. This is the one opportunity you have to ask me questions for free. And I'm glad to be of assistance to you guys, because many of you ask great questions that is of common interest to many other people like you. So it's good that we do that. Remember, at our website, freedomlawschool.org, under frequently asked questions, FAQ, let me show that to you, okay? We have a lot of resources to answer a lot of your questions right there. Under educational, the first thing is FAQ, the first line. So take advantage of the FAQ we have there, okay? And look for the answers you want on that page. A lot of things are answered there for you. And also on our social media page, there you can go under our Exodus account, platform videos, or YouTube, on the search, find on our channel the answers to the question you're looking for. All right? So with that, we have a caller from area code 513. Let's put the call number on the screen one more time, please, for the people who have questions. All right, caller from area code 513. You're live, my friend. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, Paymon. This is Nate, and we actually know each other.
Oh, hey, Nate. How are you?
Good. I hope everything's going well over there in Florida. I know you had some crazy storms.
Not too. Actually, the weather's very nice. Clear blue skies. spring weather, no chemtrails. Lately, we had some bad chemtrails a few weeks ago, but right now it's good. It's good, yeah. So good to hear from you, mate.
Good.
What's that?
So I had two questions.
Uh-huh.
I thought that the chart you had put together was great for state income tax. Do you still have that on your website?
We had that on Knowledge Base, and because everything's not perfect, there's some mistakes in there, my guys took it down. I told them, look, let's put it back up. As imperfect as it may be, let's put it back up. So I need to put it back up. So thank you for reminding us. Let's do that, guys. We got to put the Knowledge Base back on there, guys, okay, on the so that people can access it. Although it's not, we got a couple small mistakes, but we put the Knowledge Base on there. Yeah. Do you have a specific question you want to ask about that, or you want to go to your next question?
Yes. Yes. Could you specify, maybe at a more general, higher level, the difference between aggressive collections and extremely aggressive collections? Because I thought if it wasn't one of the 5 states that do not piggyback off federal, that the government would have a hard time collecting, because if you don't owe federal income tax, you don't owe state income tax. So if you could just go through what aggressive collection and very aggressive collections mean.
Well, there's no black and white. It's a gray scale of aggressiveness of the states. The more communist they are, the states, generally the more aggressive they are. They don't care about their citizens. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about the law. They just want your money. That's it. So California, that's why it's the worst. It's the most aggressive. Get California franchise tax board. Then after California, I would say New York is pretty bad. Massachusetts, Wisconsin is pretty aggressive. North Carolina seems to come after people more than many other states. Oregon has no sales tax, so they're more aggressive on the state income tax. So those would be the most aggressive states I can tell you about the state income tax issue. Most other states are pretty fairly, they might come after you, but not that much. I mean, just haven't seen much in other states. Here and there, ones and twosies maybe, but like I said, California, but definitely the worst, followed by New York, Oregon, Wisconsin, and North Carolina and Massachusetts.
Okay. Are you speaking of aggressive collections towards, at least in your experience, toward traditional filers who do not know this information? Generally speaking, have you seen people who know this information and are non-filers get left alone in your general experience?
Well, yeah, they do. Yes, the states are not aggressive. Generally, most of the ones that claim to have a state income tax are not aggressive coming after non-filers.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, because the states are not that corrupt, faraway emperor like Darth Vader, from Death Star, who's so separated from you and doesn't care about you. State legislatures are much closer to the people, and they don't make these aggressive tactics to come after people. That's just the way. That's why it's good to have a small, limited federal government, and then more relatively stronger county, local government closer to you, and then medium-sized state. Look, give me an example. The sheriff of our county, his name is Al Newhouse. He checks the mail at the same post office box office that I go to. His office from the post office is not even maybe 800 yards. So I see him at the post office. We wave hands. Yesterday I just see him and I ask him about something. Have a conversation with him. He was answering another citizen's questions about his cat that they had saved and gave to him, or some adopted a cat. He was taking 15 minutes to find where's the picture of the cat for him. That's how it should be. Though this whole the federal government D.C. thing should be very small. Hopefully, we'll cut it down to size. We could have the federal government be smaller by over 90%, and there's still waste in the federal government, and you will be perfectly safe by your state and local taxes. Any other questions,
Yeah, I
Nate?
definitely agree that local is better. Yeah, and that sheriffs are elected as well, so they can't go off road and be unfair.
Right. That's right. The sheriffs and the local officials, county commissioners, the city council people, they have to represent you and answer to you because you can kick them out locally without having to bring, 70 million people on your side, like the presidential elections. That's what it takes. Yep.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. That answered my question, and I wanted to tell your listeners, I've been implementing the strategy successfully for now 10 years. This marks my 10th year, so it can be done, for people listening. I'm a live example. I haven't had any trouble, really, so yeah, keep fighting the good fight, and I appreciate you taking the call.
You're welcome, Nate. It was great to hear from you, my friend.
Okay, take care.
Take care, my friend. We got 2 more callers with questions. If you want to be on the list, the number to call is 424-552-1299, and then you press 1, and you'll be on the list of people to get your questions answered. Again, the number is 424-552-1299, and then press 1 on your telephone keypad. And we're going to go right now to 914 area code caller, followed by the 801 area code caller. 914 area code caller, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, this is Barbara, and I heard about you through Redacted.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question is, I see in your victory section that when somebody gets entangled with the IRS, they finish it by saying you're not liable for this year's tax. You don't owe taxes. What if like for 2024, I don't file taxes, I don't pay them, and then 2 or 3 years from now, all of a sudden I get a letter from them. Is it possible to get cleared on the current year, or do I just have to wait 3 years or 4 years to wonder whether they're going to send me a letter over the course of that time?
What do you mean by cleared? There is no clearing process.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
You said something tonight about how the IRS waits to accumulate years where you don't pay so they can have more on you. Having like say, hey, you haven't paid for 3 years. You're guilty of not doing it for 3 years.
For criminal cases, which are extremely rare, and even at that, almost all of them are people who file 1040 income tax confession forms.
Oh.
They leave non-filers alone for the most part.
So if I don't file and pay for 2024, and it's 2 years from now, what happens if they all of a sudden I get a letter two or 3 years from now?
Here's the thing about that. Look, I cannot tell you guaranteed IRS will never write you anything or at all. Of course they can write you a letter, and they may. I can tell you they will not come after you ever, because if they could, you can also die in a car accident tomorrow, or the roof of the house you live in could fall on your head and kill you tomorrow. It's possible. So just because something's possible, hold on, Barbara, does not mean it's likely. You got to remember, it's likely is different than something's going to happen. So they're going to leave you alone very likely. But if you really want that peace of mind, that's why they offer the Restore Freedom plan for you. Because with that way, you don't have to worry about that. You and other good Americans like you get together, put your money in your fund, 30% of what you would have otherwise paid the IRS. For example, you pay the IRS $10,000 a year, you don't. You keep $7,000 of the $10,000 you would have otherwise given to the IRS. And then $3,000 of that you put in the Restore Freedom plan with Freedom Law School, and now we can guarantee you will not go to prison, guarantee any letters from the IRS will be probably responded challenge, we beat them, and even if we were to lose for whatever reason, and they come take from you 100,000 or 100 million, we'll reimburse you in full whatever IRS took from you. So if you want not to worry about it, then Restore Freedom Plan is for you. If you want a guarantee, that's only I can give you a for sure guarantee. Okay?
So this behavior of that the IRS has of waiting, they do that for criminal. I mean, that's what they tend to, just in terms of the way they act. That's that's their strategy for criminal cases. So if they leave you alone for a couple of years, chances are they're going to leave you alone. I understand it's not a guarantee.
I cannot tell you. I cannot predict that for you. I cannot predict that just because they left you alone for 2 years.
Right.
They won't leave you alone for the next 2 or 3 years. There's no relationship between that. That does not make it a thing. They cannot come after 80 million non-filers. 80 million or so non-filers. So they come after a certain very small numbers here and there, and who knows what rhyme and reason. They're not competent. They're not organized. You gotta quit thinking of them as an organized, intelligent entity. They're not. They're a bunch of stupid idiots that pull off the street, got an LGBTQ label to hire them. If you're a black female, that you believe you're a man, and you cut your body parts off and disabled, man, they want to hire you because you just met 4 or 5, sexual and racial and all these quotas of minority and disadvantaged and oppressed people they want to have. So that person's not competent. When you get someone like that, based rather than marriage, so I can't predict for you if what's going to happen or not, likelihood or not. You just got to decide. You want to go it on your own, you're very likely you're going to be left alone. Very, very likely. You want a peace of mind? Okay, put your money where your mouth is. 30% of what you would have paid the IRS, put it in the Restore Freedom Plan, and then you get to keep the other 70% with a guarantee. So you got to make that choice, evaluation, and decide for yourself, Barbara. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your good questions. Before we go to 801 area caller, let me list. We have 2 more callers. One from area code 559 and another one from area code 818. So from area code 801 in Utah, looks like you had my friend. Give us your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Area code 801 caller, are you there?
Okay, Payman, if I were to...
What's your name? How did you hear about us before the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dave.
And how did you hear about Freedom Law School, Dave?
I went to one of your seminars here in Utah.
Oh, okay, very good. The one I did about a year ago?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm old and my memory isn't that good.
No problem. Okay. And how may I help you?
All right, so my question here is, so I decide to join the Freedom Law School. What about the under penalties of perjuries that I have signed last year and every year before that? Does that come into does that protect me by not doing taxes this year and not signing that? But what about those that I've already signed in the past?
Every year is a separate potential taxable event. It has no relationship with the other years. So, they may come after you for the old years, they may not, but there's no relationship at all what you did for those years. It's just like you took a vaccine, flu vaccine last year or 10 years ago. Well, there's nothing I can do about that. You already took the vaccine. You already signed the 1040 tax form. But from now on, do not take any vaccines. Do not take the jabs. From now on, do not sign any 1040 income tax confession forms. That's all you can do. You can't undo what happened 50 years ago or 10 years ago or 2 years ago. All right, Dave?
Correct. But I didn't know whether they could use that now for this year, even though I signed it for last year and I gave them permission to audit.
No.
And now if I join the
separate. Dave, every year is completely separate. You don't sign that 1040 confession form. You don't tell them you owe them money. You owe them nothing. It's that simple. They trick you. They deceive you to sign that 1040 form under oath, telling the IRS that you owe them money. You sign that piece of paper under oath, telling them that you owe them money. Without that, it's a very big, expensive, cumbersome process for the IRS to come after someone who hasn't filed. They want you to sign that 1040 form under oath, penalties of perjury, saying that you owe the IRS money. On line 37 of the 1040 form, it says, this is the amount you owe, and you sign that. If you don't do that in 1 year, you owe them nothing for that year. If you ever don't file that again, sign that form anymore, you're done. You don't owe them nothing, because you're not confessing to the IRS that you owe them money. All right, Dave?
Okay, then, if I were to join the Freedom Law School for the guarantees and the peace of mind, and if I show up as a non-filer and they decide to audit me for a previous year, would Freedom Law School protect me with that?
The previous years you filed, that's not something we have anything to do with it. I didn't do that. I wouldn't have you sign that 1040 form. I wouldn't have you claim those expenses and those deductions and that claim you owe the money. That was you with some accountant CPA who deceived you to sign that form. Therefore, that would be something that would help you with that would be a pre-existing extra charge. We can help you with, yes, but it would not be covered by the program. But yes, I can help you with that. It's not a problem. I got experts, I got accountants available, if necessary, CPAs that can help you with that if they come after you. It'll be an extra charge, like I said, but you won't be left alone in the dark. You'll be fine.
Okay, now if Utah does have a income tax and they use your 1040 form to determine what that is, what would I do to file my Utah taxes without
Utah follows the federal laws.
Uh-huh.
If you don't owe federal laws, the federal form, you owe zero. Therefore, zero goes on Utah's state form. You owe Utah zero. If you don't owe federal, you don't owe Utah either. Why would you want to file and pay Utah? Now, if it was an aggressive, lawless state like California, which does follow federal form and laws, right, it doesn't matter. Because it's a lawless communist state. Authoritarian dictatorship exists in California. But Utah is not like that, thank goodness. You don't have to follow with Utah
so
either.
If I heard you right, then I would file something with Utah.
No. I didn't. I said you don't.
You
followed nothing.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you followed nothing. Okay?
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions you got, Dave?
Okay. All right. No, not unless you can help me know how to keep my wife happy. So.
And help you with what?
How to keep my wife happy.
Well, that's a great question.
Just a little levity there.
We all need that, right? We all need that help in that area. All right, Dave. Thank you for that, for your question. I appreciate you, brother. You're welcome. All right.
Okay. All right, bye-bye.
Have a good night, my friend. Okay, we're going to go to Fresno,
right, you too.
California, area code 559. Caller. You're live, my friend. Give me your first name. How did you hear about us? And then your question, please.
Hello? You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hi, my name is Richard, and I heard of you from Breedlook's podcast.
Robert Breedlove, very good. And how may I help you, Richard?
So, I've been doing the 7 steps, doing it on my own, and I got to the point where I'm claiming exempt for the Medicare and Social Security, and that kind of freaked out my employer. So they're concerned about their part of it, since they have to pay, the equivalent that I would pay. So, any ideas how to work around that, or what I can tell them to ease their mind?
I don't know what you mean they're freaked out. You got to be more specific. Did you see paperwork? What do they tell you? What do they give you a paper? I mean, you went exempt on W-4? You did. Okay, and did they say no to that? Did they say they will not recognize it? What do you mean they're freaked out? That's vague. Be more specific, please.
Well, so specifically the Social Security and the Medicare part of it, right?
Yes.
So because they have to pay the equivalent, right, that I would pay. So, for example, let's say $200, just to keep it simple.
Sure.
If I have to pay that, they have to pay the same amount.
Right.
So they're afraid of, if I don't pay that and they don't pay it, that's going to affect them.
Okay, well, hold on. The W-4 exempt only affects income tax withholding, not payroll taxes. These Social Security kind of taxes are not affected by the W-4 exempt form. So I'm not sure what your question is. They don't stop taking Social Security out of your paycheck. Now, if they do that, it'll be great. But usually they don't, because they're so afraid and brainwashed and think they have to do it, but they don't. That's why I don't usually even bother with that, because the employer just can't believe that you can not pay payroll taxes. Income taxes, we can do that with a W-4 exempt form rather easily, but not the payroll taxes. So again, I'm not clear. You have to stop payroll taxes, FICA, Social Security from your paycheck, or income taxes, or both. Be more clear what you're talking about.
I already claimed exempt for the federal taxes. So that I'm talking about specifically about FICA, I guess, which is the Social Security and the Medicare.
No,
right?
you just switched. No, wait a minute. No. FICA and Social Security's payroll taxes. They take that automatically. You cannot stop that, generally, because the employer thinks he has to do that. And he thinks he has to match it too. Whereas income tax is something completely in your control. Which part are you talking about? Income tax or FICA, Social Security, Medicare? Those are payroll taxes. You're confusing yourself and me.
Okay. So the payroll taxes you can't get out of is what you're saying.
Generally speaking, no. Because the employer believes he has to do that. But income taxes, you can't.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening.
What's happening?
But
what's happening?
They believe they have to pay that.
Oh, yes, they do. I know they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the part I was struggling with. But, yeah, I already claimed exempt for my portion of the federal taxes.
Right. But payroll taxes, you cannot do that usually. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath. You can take the petitions that you mail to your congressman, take it to them about that they've been lied to, ripped off. You should do that. That will be may be helpful. If the employer you got is halfway open-minded and reads, you can do that. Let me ask you, employer, how many employees does he have about? 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, how many?
Like 6, 7.
Oh, he's a small employer guy. Give him our petitions to read. He's a small employer. You give him our petitions. The one you sent to Congressman about Social Security, and have him call us. We'll help him have the entire company and himself be completely income and payroll tax free.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Well, it's nice but if you got to talk to him, if you don't open up your mouth, nothing's going to happen, is it?
I've been talking to him, but yeah, I'll give him that petition so he can look over it. Hopefully he will. So, another question for you. is it possible for the IRS just to simply change the definition and to include the 50 states? Is that something they can just do, and kind of halt us from taking this route?
Nope. They cannot do that. The reason the law does not apply the income tax law or the FICA, Social Security, or Medicare taxes or unemployment taxes, federal, do not apply to people of the 50 states because of the U.S. Constitution does not allow them to do so, and the 16th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution that the IRS lies and claims it does give Congress new taxing powers. They know the U.S. Supreme Court has said that the 16th Amendment did not give Congress any new taxing powers. They could not do it back there in the times of the Founding Fathers or 1800s. In the late 1800s, there was a case named Pollock, where a direct income tax was struck down by the Supreme Court because it was not divided up or apportioned among the states. Things are not haven't changed in the Constitution. That's why they could not do just straight up include the 50 states. They use deception. They use the word United States, and you think, oh, that means the 50 states. And you say, oh, well, I'm one of the citizens of the 50 states, so I got to pay income tax. But you're not a citizen for tax purposes. You're not a U.S. citizen for tax purposes. You and I are U.S. citizens, state citizens, and U.S. national for nationality purposes, but not for tax purposes. So, no, they cannot change the law. Congress cannot even change the law. IRS doesn't even make law. Okay? So, no, you're fine there. Any other questions, Richard?
Not right now. I'm sure I'll have more for you.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. The call number is free right now. It's open. Anybody with questions can get your question asked right now. The number to call, as you see on the screen, is 424-552-1299. And then on your telephone keypad, you press 1. The number again is 424-552-1299. And you press on your telephone keypad. Now, let me tell you guys this, everybody. Bottom line is this. For over 30 years, I have been studying the scam of the income tax system. All this white hair was completely jet black hair, okay? For a long time, I've been at this. And I'll put all this stuff together for you on our website, freedomlawschool.org, in a very easy to understand format for you, okay? It's called the 7 Steps to Free Yourself, okay, of IRS deception, okay, robbery and slavery. You just gotta, on your drive anywhere, go through the 7 steps. Follow the law. Stop following income tax forms, okay? Realize the IRS operates on deception and bluff. Take courage from our victories. This is the 4th step. Question authority. Write to congressman about the law. Demand that they enforce the law on the IRS and Department of Injustice lawyers and judges. Now, all that's for free. Then, if you want, you can join the Restore Freedom Plan. We'll protect you 100% completely. And tell other people about it. Love and spread the truth. All it is, you just got to put your smartphone to work. That's all you got to do. Put your smartphone to work. When you get in that car, go shopping, work out at the gym, or washing dishes, or go to work, or back home. Put your smartphone up, listen to our videos while you wash the road. And then when you have dinner, or lunch, put it up, this time watch it. It's all there in very easy to understand way. Within a few weeks, you can understand all this stuff about income tax basics. As good as me, literally, if you watch the videos on our website, the step 1 through 7, which is easy to do. It doesn't take that many hours. Altogether, not even 10 hours. Altogether, not even 10 hours is step 1 through step 7. You know it. You can be free. You don't have to rely upon me. And while you're stuck in the car, bored, you get to be educated, enlightened, and free. So it's your choice to be free. I just invite you to realize that you came across Freedom Law School, it was not an accident. You were meant to find the truth and freedom that you have been looking for. You found it. Seize the moment and put your smartphone to work on your car. Listen to our videos, freedomlawschool.org, and tell other people about us to take back our country. Text your friends, family members, co-workers, our website, our videos. Call us, we'll send you for free. Restore Freedom brochures for free that tell people no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income and payroll taxes. The 7 steps are all there. And we'll pay you. Yes. Put your name and phone number or the private 7-digit number we give you for free. And then when they join, we'll pay you for opening your mouth trying to restore freedom in America. So all I can do is make stuff available to you. At the end, it's you that gotta pull the trigger. You're the one that gotta turn the key and have yourself be free and have your people you love close to you be free. So with that, I give you my love. I'll be back with you, my friends, next Tuesday night with another edition of Freedom Law School's Freedom Hour.